DD214 Gaming Podcast is for mature audiences only. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any Department of Defense or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
It is a Christmas miracle because, Joe, you are fired. You are so fucking fired from that. Oh my God.
So I mixed up the scenes and you guys are all pissy. It's what ends.
Okay. Happy
Fired.
holidays. Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to episode 38, season 2 of the DD214 podcast. What a fucking week, guys. What a week.
Yeah. Holy shit, what a week. Let's talk about the week. Good God. How was the last how many hours are in a week? Wasn't there like a movie with the name of it? Like, what was it, fucking 100 and how many hours are in a week? What's 24 times 7?
Lord, I don't even know.
Fucking
It's too
Let's
complicated for me to comprehend right now. I was told I needed a
like
calculator all throughout
160.
high school.
It's like 168 or some shit. 168 hours, some shit like that.
In a week?
Yeah, in a week. The last 168 hours have been like holy fucking like a Rick and Morty fucking like goddamn adventure in my world.
Does anyone
Merry
do
Christmas.
do any of you guys even know how to count anymore?
I just did that in my head very quickly. Like, I think somebody should check my math. Is there 168 hours in a week?
Hey Siri, how many hours are in a week?
There you go.
1 week is 168 hours.
There it is. So took me a couple seconds, but I got it.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna sing to you guys soon. We're gonna let some people roll in first before we start singing. But we have a wonderful 12 days of military Christmas
Absolutely.
written and actually edited by my wife Francesca Sanchez. Fantastic.
Dude, the list, the actual list of the 12 days is fucking spot on. It's really good. Did a really fucking good job on that shit, dude. Like that above all of it is like it's good shit. Like,
Yeah, I mean, do we want to waste any time? Do you just want to go into it?
I'm down for whatever, whenever we can. We got a little bit to talk about today, so I mean, we could, if you want to burn like 10 or 15 minutes, we've got about 15 different things we can talk about. So I mean,
Let's go.
we can do that. We can do that just as easily. But yeah, go ahead.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you the DD214 Gaming Podcast, the 12 Days of Christmas. And just so you know, when we're going into it, it's like on the first day of Christmas, the forces gave to me.
Forces, okay. The forces gave to me. Sweet.
Fair enough.
So
You
there's
guys
the
ready?
forces. All right, let's do it. On the first day of Christmas, the service gave to me
My
DD214. Jesus.
Wow.
On the second day of Christmas, the service gave to me 2 chow biscuits and a DD214. On the third day of Christmas, the service gave to me 3 flags of flying, 2 chow biscuits, and a DD214.
I think we do better if we do it one at a time. That's good. On the 4th day of Christmas, the service gave to me 4 safety briefings
3 flags of flying,
2 chow biscuits.
and a DD214. That's a little better, huh? That's a little better.
We're getting
On
there.
the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me
5 days of leave, 4 safety briefings,
3 flags of flying,
2 chow biscuits,
and a DD214. Poor Joe, he's dying
On
over
the
there.
6th day of Christmas, the service gave to me 6 counseling statements.
5 days of leave, 4 safety briefings,
Oh my
3
god.
flags of flying,
2 chow hall biscuits,
And my DD214.
On the seventh day of Christmas, the service gave to me 7 med call visits,
6 counseling statements.
5 days of
of
leave,
leave. 4 safety briefings.
3 flags of flying. Oh,
2
Oh.
chow hall biscuits.
and my DD 214.
On the 8th day of Christmas, the service gave to me 8 pairs of silks.
7 med call visits,
6 counseling statements.
5
5
days of leave,
leave. 4 safety briefings.
3 flags of flying,
2 chow hall biscuits.
and my
a
DD 214.
214. On the 9th day of Christmas, the service gave to me 9 PT tests,
8 pairs of silks.
7 med call visits,
6
3
counseling
counseling
statements,
5
5 days
days
of
of
leave,
4 safety briefings.
3 flags of flying,
2 chow hall biscuits.
and
And
my
a DD 214.
214. The 214, yeah.
The service gave to me 10
10
MREs,
MREs,
9 PT tests.
8
8
pairs of
pairs of silks,
7 med call visits.
6 counseling statements,
5 days
of
of
leave.
leave. Something.
3 flags of flying, 2
chow
chow
hall
hall
biscuits,
biscuits.
And
my
a DD 214.
Almost done. On the 11th day of Christmas, the service gave to me
11 miles of rucking.
10 MREs,
9 PT tests.
8 pairs of silks,
7 med call visits,
6 counseling statements,
5 days of
leave,
leave. 4 safety briefings.
3 flags of flying.
2 chow hall biscuits,
And a fucking
and
DD
my
214.
DD 214.
On the 12th day of Christmas, the service gave to me
12
12
cans of
cans of
ribbons.
ribbits,
11
11
miles
miles
of
of
rucking.
rucking.
10
10
MREs, 9
9
PT tests,
tests,
8 pairs of silk,
silks,
7 med call visits,
6 counseling statements.
5
days of leave,
4 safe briefings.
3 flags of flying, 2
chow
chow hall
biscuits,
biscuits, and our
and
And
DD.
a DD 214.
And it's over.
We did it, guys.
Over. We made it.
God damn. Man, we suck. But that is so awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Next
That
year,
was
guys.
fucking awesome. Good
Ne-
shit. Dude,
Yeah,
We'll actually
dude,
probably
Francesca,
practice more.
like for AKA Frenchie, dude, like that was spot on. That was spot on. Like the list was fucking perfect. The list was perfect down to the fucking syllables. It was easy to latch onto it because she matched the fucking syllables that you use in the actual song. So it was easy to like latch onto that.
Do you
That
know
was
that
badass.
that was actually the interesting part too, because she had finished the lyrics and then she was just like, "Wait a minute, we're going up and down in this thing. We need to do something about this."
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
she matched all the syllables, like she matched the syllables, the syllable count for the regular line in the regular song.
Yeah, she
So
did.
it made it a lot easier. You're not sitting there trying to play with words like while keeping a tune basically that you've known since childhood.
That was great.
That was very very well put together.
Thank you all
Outstanding
so
fucking
much.
job. Out fucking standing.
Next
Thank
year
you,
we're
Frenchie.
I'll get Frenchie a certificate of appreciation. It'll get signed sometime. You know, we'll put her in for an ARCOM. Put her in for an AM or something. You know, whatever.
We'll
It'll-
get something to drop
whatever.
in for a sort of appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk to S2 about that. So tell me, guys, gentlemen, please tell me before I start my fucking rant, like, please tell me about the last 168 hours of your guys' life before I go in on mine.
Oh, she says I'll take some Kansas City barbecue shipped to me.
Oh,
Ooh,
we might be able to work something out with that. That is entirely fucking possible.
All right, and Joe, thank you for participating in that. I appreciate.
Thank you very
that.
much, Joe.
Gentlemen,
Go ahead.
I was going to say it was a pleasure to join you in that in that amazing song that we came up and and we're able to aspire to try and do here. But I'm gonna go back in my little hidey hole here. If you're all cool with that, I'm festive enough, Jay. I'd give you my hat, but a little far out of reach.
I had my hat somewhere, and it's just I figured I would just do standard Jay this week. This week I started the month off festive, right? Like nobody said I had to end it in that manner. You know what I mean? Like besides we do have the solstice coming up in 2 days, which traditionally
Yes, we do.
Is the actual like kind of official December holiday going back thousands of years. So I don't know about you guys or how you get down on the solstices, but I like to fucking party. So but yeah, we need to find out that factoid about why those hats were designed that way. The sleeping caps. So
Yeah. So now to talk about my 148 hours.
168.
168. Mine was well worse than yours. I mean, at least you were able to see the world for a little bit. I have that recipe 19, baby. I got that old hickory. And that's God, baby. I'm telling you, because I got that COVID-19. I got that menu 19, guys, and let me tell you, this shit.
Damn.
Yeah, this shit is not. I mean, we're quarantined right here. We're here in the house. Man, dude.
Okay, so damn, I didn't realize this was going to turn into like a literal like army like one-upping contest. Like, damn, this is like about to go down. Like, you got the Rona this week, while I had like the week from hell, fucking getting from Colorado to fucking Missouri, basically. And like, so like, I want to hear. Okay, so first off, I want to hear your, obviously this has been going around for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now. In our 2 years, excuse me, John, you officially got COVID-19. So like, tell me like,
Yeah. So
when did it start? When did you start noticing symptoms? Like, when did you go get tested? Like, tell me all about that shit.
So obviously, we had some visitors over the last couple weeks, and I feel like that obviously big crowds always seem to bring up these. Yes, my pussy has started hurting. My pussy has started hurting, and Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay, so you were in the store, your vag started to itch, and then
Yes,
what?
and I started feeling like these weird like body aches throughout the week, but I didn't,
Okay.
I didn't think anything of it, so
Because we're guys and we totally ignore fucking direct pain like in our
yeah.
bodies and like until
So
it's too fucking late. Yes. Please continue.
Sunday we did the podcast last week, and I wasn't feeling 100%. Here, baby.
I remember after we got off the live stream, you indicating that like you were energy levels were low, like they were low for me last week too. Like
Yeah,
last week's episode, I hate to say it, is probably going to go down as probably one of our lesser good episodes. You know what I mean? Like, that one was like we were both trying, but man, boy, did we have to slug through it. And we still came in like 15 minutes light from our usual.
if even that,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we really had to like slug out last week's episode, but we did it though. And I'm glad that we had the discipline to do it, because that's been the one standby is that every Sunday, like even if we have to pre-record, every Sunday that episode goes out. You know what I mean? And we have kept that. We have definitely kept that, in fine keeping with DD214 gaming tradition.
Yeah,
But yeah, we slugged that episode. So what happened after the episode then?
So right after the episode, I uploaded it on YouTube, right?
Mhm.
Now, keep in mind, the audio version of the episode didn't air until yesterday. That's how sick I was. YouTube was already up, but as soon as I finished the episode, I went right to bed and I slept for like 10 hours straight. Yeah, the first day was like 12 hours. Second day was about the same to 10. Dude, I could not get out of bed. I couldn't talk. I couldn't move. Like literally, I couldn't even push a button, which that's crippling to me, because my
Right.
life is pushing buttons, figuratively and literally,
Right.
and dude, this thing it really crippled me. And I remember, I
Now
would write.
From
would rate
from start to where you were like just down and out. Like how many days was that?
5 on the
5 days.
and on the 5th day I rose. Still at like a 50% battery. So now we're up to day 7 now, and my body feels 100%. I
Okay.
still have some coughs and I still have some body aches, but it's still one day at a time. I don't go back to work for another to the 27th.
It is. I got to say how interesting it has been over the last couple of years that like the difference between individual people and how their bodies react to the virus.
Yeah.
The differences are staggering, and it is the same virus, but the differences in like in the extremes of like how bad it is for some people versus like other people just like their bodies shrug it off. You know what I mean? Like this is exactly why like I take my advice from scientists and not like just anecdotal evidence. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
and that's like because I remember you saying like how utterly shit-tastic you felt.
It
You know what I
was.
mean? At certain points, like and this is a very interesting virus that has kind of circled the globe the last couple of years. So it also worries you a little bit when one of your homies like gets it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, well, I hope everything is up to speed, in your immune system and shit, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't like hearing that my friends are sick or obviously or anything like that. So
And I just want to say too, what's very interesting is that my kids,
Mhm.
of my 3 kids, my wife, and my daughter, we tested positive, but my boys didn't.
Also interesting to note, yes,
Yeah,
and
and
that's living within the same household,
yeah,
almost guaranteed direct exposure,
yeah,
almost guaranteed
absolutely. So that's why
direct exposure.
it's very interesting. But like my daughter, she's been slamming this like a hero.
Right, right,
She is.
and good, and I'm glad to hear that too. I
Yeah,
really am. Like that's it. I'm glad the family as well. And like, yes, you're quarantined, but hey, you picked the right week to be quarantined, man. Right?
yeah.
Like
Hey, let me tell
you
you.
picked the right week to be quarantined, bro.
Yeah,
It's
let me.
Christmas time. Are you guys doing like Christmas movies every night? Like what do you?
Well, actually,
Are you guys
so
making a party out of it, kind of like
okay,
last
so
year?
this week, well, we do have a tradition which we're a couple days late on, which we're gonna start today. We watch all Star Wars movies every single year for Christmas.
Nice,
But
nice.
seeing as that we've been in quarantine this week, we kind of just been watching everything else from Dexter. We watched, and this is a perfect time to kind of get into it right before actually, yeah, well, yeah, Spider-Man. I'm not going to talk too much about it because if I talk too much about it, I'm giving it away. Guys, go see the movie. It is a 10 out of 10 film.
You know what? I've seen nothing but this is one of those movies where like might have to freaking like go see it in the theater because
You have to.
I've seen nothing but good reviews on it,
J-
and it's like,
look,
you know what I
guys.
mean? Like, so
So this is what it is, okay? I cannot leave my house, so I had to watch a link. So the link was terrible, but let me tell you, I was crying, I was laughing, I was screaming. The movie was perfect, and what a perfect time to be home to be able to watch this with my wife, and it was magical. So to be able to be in quarantine and watch that, so fun. Very very impressed with the movie. I like I said, if I say one thing, it's giving away too much.
that's
So,
fine.
so
That's totally okay.
but guys,
Yeah,
please watch this movie in the theaters. Watch this movie in the theaters. There's no unless you have an HD version and you got 22.1 surround sound in your fucking living room. Yeah, stay at home and watch it, but this is an experience. And also stay for the post-credit scene and then stay for the post-credit scene.
Jesus, they're going like completely meta with this shit, aren't they?
Oh, dude, you don't even
Like,
know. You don't
I don't know. So I'll just
so now we've got to my 168 hours. What about yours, Jay?
bro. Like I'm sorry you got the Rona. I'm sorry you're down. I'm sorry you had a week where we all know, you know, the only time in your entire life you'll see a dude just on his knees, like just crying and sobbing in the corner, is when a man gets sick. Okay, because for some reason the God saw fit to watch us like just be fucking like Terminators and smash through everything in our lives without abandon and zero problems. But when we go down with a bug, we are fucking worthless as shit. We're just worthless. It sucks. So I understand, like, you're 168 hours. But brother, from the minute we hit the fucking like pause button on the live stream, like after the episode last week until we hit the start button this week, man, it has been 168 hours, let me tell you. And every single one of them was filled with just an entire freaking like tornado of teeth and fingernails. You know, when life is just in your fucking face and you don't have, there is no more time. There is no more time. The time is just, it's literally now, and you better fucking like push, and you got to go hard. So you go fucking hard, and you fill every last inch of that hole and just repeatedly pound it into submission until your fucking mission is complete. So
That was great.
Basically, when we had the episode last week, I was in the middle of a 3.5, 4 day push to get everything done and everything complete and my house cleaned and everything emptied out. And it ended up turning into like a few trips to the local dump, and a couple of good buddies a couple of my good buddies freaking helping out and coming through like the fucking champions that they are. You know what I mean? And we made it happen and we got it done on time. And my dad drove into town to lend me some space in the back of his truck, which was fucking amazing because he's an amazing dad. I have an amazing family, and again, in that regard, I'm a very, very lucky man. And so we stayed in a hotel. This would have been Tuesday night. Stayed in a hotel. We were staying in a hotel, and Wednesday morning, the plan was we get up, we eat breakfast, and Delilah had her school test for her like literacy. It's like literacy testing basically, and then once she's done with that literacy testing in the morning, we hit the gas station, top off the gas tanks, and we head out. And that's pretty much that part is pretty much exactly what we did. Here's where it got interesting. While we were having breakfast in the hotel before my daughter had her literacy testing, there was a severe thunderstorm developed over the Pueblo Valley, and that storm system coming over the Rockies is what developed and eventually became what they called it was kind of a storm of the century. It was basically a 100-year storm, and it was a direct line windstorm that swept across the entire Midwest and started over the Rockies. We watched the storm develop, and it passed us. Okay. So imagine this storm is like ahead of us, like to the north and to the east. We take off from Pueblo after my daughter finishes her test. We're driving for a while, and then because of the direction of our travel, we start coming up alongside it, and we're kind of like tracking the storm. And I remember we stopped once about, I want to say, an hour and a half, 2 hours away from Pueblo, so everybody could do like, you know, potty break, whatever. And then I was looking at it, and if you see in some of those pictures, you might want to back up like one or two. Go to the first one where you see my arm in it, right there. If you can zoom in on that, if you can blow that up somehow.
Is this Arizona?
No, that's in Colorado.
Okay,
This
that's
is in
Colorado.
Colorado. This
Okay.
isn't. We're in the eastern plains of Colorado, and you can kind of see the line of that storm coming. And I've seen that several times in Afghanistan when and in Arizona when dust storms kick up. You can see the line of the storm coming, kind of at you if that makes sense. And so when we stopped for that first kind of potty break, our destination for lunch was going to be a town called Oakley, Kansas. And from that area,
How fitting.
we were still about 2.5, 3 hours away from Oakley at this point. And I told my dad, I said, once we get out of here, I don't think we should not be stopping until we get to Oakley, because that storm is coming, and I don't think we're gonna be able to stay ahead of it. And we were not able to stay ahead of it, and we eventually became enveloped by it. And we spent most of the next 3.5 hours getting to Oakley, which is a little bit slower than usual, because we became enveloped by the storm. So there were moments where we had to basically we got going as fast as 60, 65 miles an hour. It's on a little 2-lane highway. So when other cars are coming, you got to be careful, especially in dust storms. And when there's fucking semis on that road, you especially have to be careful, because we're talking about straight line winds, and semis get fucking tipped over. You know what I mean? So the trip between the potty break and Oakley, Kansas was a lot slower than it normally would have been. And we were basically driving into a dust storm,
Nice.
and we basically, the whole time, the whole rest of the way to Oakley, because of our direction of travel, we were basically traveling in the storm. So there was no respite. There was no respite from it. The storm didn't really have a chance to pass us, because we were basically traveling with it, just to get to this town of Oakley, Kansas. And so that became the mission, basically, was to get it to Oakley. And during the course of this, I realized we're not going to make it anywhere near Kansas City tonight. So I might as well get fucking hotel reservations. So I made hotel reservations while I'm driving through a fucking dust storm, dude. Which by the fucking way, what a fucking rush, dude. This shit, dude, reminded me of Afghanistan
Dude,
so fucking much, dude. And go ahead. I'm sorry. What?
This picture here, you can't see past specific, you can't see past a certain point. That's crazy.
Visibility right there in that specific picture, visibility right there was probably 75 meters. Okay, so if you can imagine in the wintertime, when there's a snowstorm or whatever, or fog, in the wintertime, visibility in that picture right there was about 75 meters. You can't tell because of the dashboard, and it's not very zoomed in.
Yeah.
But you can see kind of off if you look in the peripherals of the picture. You're right, and that was about it. And it got down when we got close to Oakley. We got hit hard. Where a couple times where I had to stop the car for a couple of seconds, because it was blowing. We're talking hurricane force winds here, and so we make it to Oakley. And we went to a bar and grill in town. And we sat down, and the rest of the storm was basically passing us, which came with rain, more high winds. It got very, very dark. The bar and grill we were in did not lose power, so that was cool. While we were there, they never lost power. The hotel, we stayed in a place called Hayes, which is about an hour and a half away from Oakley. By the time we got to Hayes that night, it was 8 o'clock at night, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. We got to our hotel. The power at the hotel had just come back on about 15 minutes after we got there.
Ooh.
And there were areas we could see off to our left and right, driving between Oakley and Hayes on I-70. There were areas we could see where the power had gone out. So it was bad. There was a lot of severe destruction, crop destruction.
Shit.
They haven't even started coming out with the numbers yet of and this is, by the way, this is spanning several states. We're talking Colorado, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, Missouri. I want to say parts of Illinois. You know what I mean? This storm went all the way to the fucking Great Lakes. And it started where we were at in the Pueblo Valley. And it pushed the whole system pushed over the Rockies and went out across the Midwest. This is basically 100 years. That picture right there is what it looked like from the door of the bar.
Whoa!
As the rest of the storm was passing over. Joe, if you could, I was gonna say, Joe, if you could blow that up a little bit, blow that picture up. That's the
I got
when the
you.
rest of the when
I got you.
it was in the middle of the this this is so that's the bar and grill, like looking out the front door of the bar and grill as the remainder of the storm freaking pushed through Oakley, and that's what it looked like outside. But dude, it reminded me of Afghanistan, like no shit, like
You know,
being on mission and going and driving some of our doing when I was doing route clearance with the engineers when I was a mechanic, and then both of my tours as infantry, we were mounted. We were in Max Pros and Matt V's. So there were days where there would be low visibility due to dust, you know what I mean, in the air and shit like that. And it was actually like driving through that shit, like it was like a fucking flashback from hell, dude. Like being in Afghanistan, because that's exactly what it looked like. It's exactly what it looked like. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere and you're surrounded by dust, and all you can see is really the road in front of you. That's all you can see. So, but the next day we woke up in the hotel. We woke up in the hotel, and the freaking the storm had obviously already passed. We got up, we grabbed some freaking.
Was it overnight? Was it like an overnight storm?
No. Once it passed, it was pretty much over. And we got up the next morning, and we went and got some McDonald's in the drive-thru, and me and my dad followed each other the rest of the way into Kansas City. Got all my shit out of the back of his truck and got it loaded into the house here. And we pretty much took the rest of Thursday off. We took all of Friday off. And Nikki, God bless my girlfriend. Like, holy shit, dude. Nikki let me fucking sleep in on Friday. Like, I wasn't planning on it. She had to work, so she got up, but she was working from home on Friday. So she got up, and I woke up when she woke up, and I was gonna get up, and I passed back out, and she let me sleep, and I didn't wake up until noon on Friday, which, no, if you don't know me well enough, you wouldn't know, but like, I don't ever sleep in that late, actually, like ever. And I ended up I was dead to the world until like noon on Friday. So we took all the rest of Friday off pretty much too. Yesterday we went to the mall, and I had my girls take a picture with Santa, because we do that every year. And that's like one of the few pictures that I have of my children, like as like time snapshots, is their pictures with Santa Claus. And I started doing that. I started that tradition actually in Tucson, Arizona, when I was on leave after my second deployment. So Delilah was only 2 years old. And I have every single year then with Santa Claus. And so we did that yesterday, and got a couple chores around the house to do today, but we're going to start going balls to the wall probably first thing tomorrow. So, but the last couple days haven't been nearly anything, but those first, as soon as we hung up on Sunday after the podcast last week, good fucking God, dude. It was not from that moment until I woke up at noon on fucking Friday, I guess, was a fucking nonstop like horror show of fucking like, what the fuck, what the fuck are we going to do, and how are we going to do it? And let's fucking make it happen, because this is a no-fail mission, and we got it done. So
Can you put that on your NCORC as well?
And my NCOER?
Yes, yeah.
It probably would have made for a good one, right? Like,
Yeah.
successfully navigated, like moving out of his house after getting out of the Army and traveling through the storm of the century, to safely with 3 family members, and getting them from point A to point B safely. Like, yeah, that would probably be an NCOER bullet. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could fluff it up with some colorful language, and like make it sound nice, to put it on the NCOER. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, some good militaristic words, and I just want to say congratulations This is a major step. Again, I met you when you were still undecided on what you were going to do.
Correct. That
You
is
know,
correct.
and it actually, it wasn't one of those things where it took like a month or two to decide. No, we found out like
Very
maybe like
quickly. When I came down on, it was when I came down on drill orders.
exactly, you know, and this wasn't even that long ago either. So it's really cool. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. This is no, you've been waiting for this for a long time. So
I mean, I think I've done obviously, you know, you when you get out of the army, you do a lot of reflecting, and you know you when we start internalizing and start looking back at things that we've, you know, places we've been and things we've done. Um, when you're doing a lot of that reflecting, you know, you kind of realize a lot of times, like sometimes there's just no other way. And so once you come to that realization that there was no other way, you know, there should never be any regret after that. You know what I mean? Like there were some things that happened, you know, and I'm talking like before last year even happened. Like there were a couple things that happened a few years ago that kind of just started me and my family kind of on this course of me getting out of the army. And it basically became there was no other way to navigate the waters of life if I was going to be in the army. And so, you know, when people talk about family being more important, I absolutely chose my family over the fucking army. You know what I mean? Like I love what the army gave me, and I'm very proud of my time in, and I'm very proud of what I did while I was in. Um, but I never had I never had any illusions that the army was ever going to be more important than my family or than the people that I truly love in my life. There are people that I have. Oh, what the fuck? What the shit did they call that back in like samurai Japan? Like I have like a life vow to. You know what I mean? Where it's just like you get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, like you get a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's no questions asked. You just there's like at least like 3 or 4 people roaming this earth that I have like a life vow to, where it's just like I'm not really allowed to say no. It's just kind of like whose car are we taking, right? If I ever get that phone call, and that remained true while I was in the army. I hate to say it. It's not the most popular outlook on life to have, but I mean, there were people in my life I was willing to go AWOL for while I was in. I don't like admitting that, but it's true. You know, family is always going to be more important than the army. So point of the whole thing is me getting out, you know, was a foregone conclusion as of like 18 months ago. And as soon as I made that decision, everything was just leading up to this point. And me and my daughters are extremely fortunate to have the people in our lives that we do. Specifically my girlfriend, who is just the most amazing fucking angel on earth that like I've ever met. You know, good like good God. What do I say and where do I even start with that? You know, and so getting here was the mission, and being here now is like finally being able to like decompress and like we still have a shitload of stuff to do, and that's fine. But holy fuck, I can like slow goddamn down, like you know from like Mach 3 to like I don't know Mach 2.8, whatever, right?
Mach 2.8.
Like you know, yeah. I mean, like I mean, I will slow down as much as I can possibly slow down while still maintaining a fucking standard, because the standard, whether you're inside or outside of the army, you should always have a fucking standard for your goddamn life. You know, individually,
Absolutely.
every individual human being should have a fucking standard for their life, and you need to meet and maintain those standards so that you're not, you know, hating yourself on top of fucking hating the rest of the world. You know what I mean? Like how much more ass can you kick when you fucking love yourself? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, a positive mental attitude goes a long fucking way in life. You know, I'm just fucking throwing it out there.
Hey, no,
So,
you're absolutely right.
I
And
mean, we just had like a literal week from hell, dude. But it's like, but holy shit, we're still here. The fucking sun still came up. Everybody's still fucking breathing. We got a roof over our head. I got fucking food in my belly. How fucking bad is it? Like, even with all the other shit that I still have to fucking do the rest of this fucking week and going into the future weeks, like, how fucking bad is it? Like, it's gonna be okay. It was, and I knew it was going to be okay. That's why, like, it's for all the fucking bullshit I just told you about. Like, it was very low stress, and I even enjoyed that fucking drive through the goddamn storm because it reminded me of Afghanistan. Like, I had a fucking great time, fucking on that drive.
Yeah,
Like,
and the one,
it sucked fucking royal balls, dude. It sucked fucking royal balls.
hey, but someone's
But I
got
had
to
a
do
great
it,
time
right?
doing it. What's
Someone's
that?
got to. Someone's got to do it. It's
Hey
gonna be.
man,
It's gonna be
hey
Jake
man.
Campbell.
Dude,
Now the one.
I got teabagged. I got teabagged by a fucking 100-year storm, dude. Like,
There you go.
I just but I took every inch, dude.
There you go. And the one thing that I really liked about this whole thing is that we revolved around our next season, with this move. So we just want to let you guys know a little mid-show reminder that January 22nd. Press play, Joe. My bad. A little reminder that on the 2nd of January, DD214 Gaming Season 3 is starting, guys. So don't miss it. You guys want to be there. It's going to be fun. This is just a little reminder. January 2nd. January 2nd. And a couple cool things coming out throughout the year. April 21st will be DD214 Day. We also got the Paleo Giant content coming soon. We also have the round table, which is always been a work in progress, but we're getting to that, and I think the first episode is gonna be mechanics. So
Okay. I like that.
so we're gonna work with that now. Do you want to do that story now, or do you want to have that military story for last?
Which one are you referring to?
About the young female sapper who graduated training.
Well, I honestly, I just wanted to send a shout out, man. I got
Yeah,
more than anything. I mean, I think she is the overall female soldier to become Ranger Sapper qualified, like both. But she is the first one from Third ID, Rock of the Marne. So that went out kind of as a kind of a shout out on some of the military news networks this week. So I really just wanted to send a shout out to her, for completing that. I've known personally 2 female sappers from my time at Fort Leonard Wood, and I've known several men who have been Ranger Sapper qualified. The majority of them will typically be officers. Okay. And the reason for that is as enlisted, typically 12 Bravos, even if they make it through Sapper, they don't typically always get the opportunity to go to Ranger School. And then it is vice versa for the infantry going to Sapper. And it's even more rare. If you're infantry and you go to Sapper School, you better have a goddamn good reason for putting in that packet or be like re-enlisting for it or something, because you just won't get the school just because you want to go to fucking Sapper School, right? But I have met several NCOs that, God bless their souls, dude. They've got they're double stacked with tabs, Ranger Sapper. So absolutely just wanted to send a shout out. Anytime somebody earns both of those tabs, it is an absolute life accomplishment. It's an absolute life accomplishment to graduate either one of those courses.
And
So
with the third ID patch too.
Third ID, Rock of the Marne, like it's like, so for all that pride that goes with doing all that, like I just wanted to send a shout out to her. Absolutely, congratulations. And I hope she's fucking just crushing all the pussy she wants to fucking get this weekend, dude. That's what I'm saying, because she fucking crushed it at fucking Ranger School and Sapper School. So
I do have a question.
What's up?
So where the fuck could I get those colored patches at? I could never find them.
I mean, you can order them online.
Now, what kind? Now,
you can order them online.
And those fall under 670-1.
Yeah. Yes. You would have to. Those would be the patches you would sew on to your dress uniform. You would not wear the color. Well, typically you don't wear the colored patches.
Yeah.
With the OCPs. Okay. Typically, they're subdued.
Okay.
You would wear those ones on like the new pinks and greens. Those would be the patches you would sew on.
Okay, yeah.
Those would be the patches you would sew onto the pinks and greens. Okay, does that
That's
make
very
sense?
interesting. Yeah, it's very
Mhm.
interesting to me because I've always uniformity, colors,
Mhm.
because even if you had like because a lot of people didn't seem to realize that during the time of the transition there were UCP patches and then there was OCP patches, and there are two distinctive different colors. One is very
Right.
stone, the other one is very muddy. And I would bless you. I would see people mix the patches, very interesting stuff. But did
Absolutely.
you
And if you see a lot of the colored patches from the different units too, like you can see a lot more of the color of the history of the unit, if you will. Like, you've got the patch that's like a half rainbow. You know what I mean? Like, and every patch has its own flavor. You know what I mean? When they're in color, we a lot of us are used to seeing the patches subdued. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so
yeah.
did you catch the fight yesterday?
Are we talking about UFC? Or are we talking about
Okay,
Mr.
now
Jake Paul
listen. I
and
didn't I
Tyron
did not
and Mr. Woodley?
I did not watch UFC yesterday. I know that there was a couple cards, but everyone was
I
talking
was
about.
just I was just fucking with you, John. I didn't watch UFC either. This
But
one
who?
this
But someone
this
did fight.
one
Didn't Derek Lewis fight yesterday?
Derek
Derek
Lewis
Lew-
did fight. Derek
Derek
Lewis did
Lewis,
fight, and he knocked a motherfucker out too. So you
did
can be
he
happy.
really?
You can be happy to know that he knocked a motherfucker out.
Guys,
So
here at DD214, we are huge Black Beast fans. We
we really are.
love Derek Lewis. We love Derek Lewis. Even though that boy needs some cardio, man. Jesus Christ.
Oh no. He looked good last
He
night,
looked
dude.
good yesterday.
Dude, he looked. I watched the freaking. I watched the freaking replays. He looked outstanding. He was controlling, dominating. I mean, it was he really last night. He looked really, really good.
I
Like
really wish that we could say the same thing about some of the fights that happened yesterday, too. Did you just watch the Woodley Paul fight, or did you watch all four fights?
I was skipping back and forth. Honestly, I can't. I was kind of lying. I can't say I didn't watch any UFC, but I was watching mainly replays. I was watching mainly replays of UFC, but I was watching replays as they came in, like as they happened, basically, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So,
So I got to see some of the fights. Some of the fights are really good. But before I get to the Woodley Paul fight, there was a fight between a basketball player who was a 14-time NBA All Star against another gentleman. It was Williams and Gomar.
okay.
Gomar was a football player, and this was the worst fight I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, was
Okay,
it like
it
bad?
was.
Like bad?
Let
Like
me tell the guy had his arms down. Actually, there was actually a point in time where Williams grabbed the dude and he threw him through the ropes. He threw him. And then Gomar came back and grabbed him and threw him through the ropes as well. So it was a hot fucking mess for that match. But let's get to the Woodley. Let's get to the Woodley Paul fight. I mean, look. I mean, this picture
dude,
says it all. I
it
wish
really
that. I wish we
dude
could
got.
show.
And this here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part because that picture does say it all. The crazy part is up to that point in the fight. Up to that point in the fight, I would say Woodley probably would have had the edge, but Paul started getting tired. And Paul was getting tired in like the second, third round.
Yeah,
And why Woodley did not push that. With all he probably had to do was push that, and he probably could have gone for a finish sometime between rounds like 3 and 5.
oh yeah, because
Like
five was
and
really when Jake Paul really started showing up.
yeah, and that's where like and Wall, dude, when excuse me, Wall, when Jake Paul got his win back, once he got his win back, like that happened. And oh my god. And Woodley got fucking slept like hard. And it was like to see that is like this here's fucking prediction from future self Jay. We're gonna see Jake Paul continue climbing the ranks of the MMA boxing until, mark my words, he's gonna end up boxing with Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
Anderson Silva's probably next. And if he somehow beats Anderson Silva, they're gonna throw McGregor at him.
Well, let's
Like,
let's
bet
let's not
money, bet
let's
money,
let's not
bet money.
forget. Hey, what's going on, Deshaun?
Sean, welcome, man.
Hey,
Good to see you.
now,
Hey,
we can't forget also. All right, wait, hold up. I just had the blackout moment.
what happened?
What was the last thing that you said, Jay?
I said they're gonna like Anderson Silva's gonna be next, and then they're gonna probably
Oh,
throw fucking Conor McGregor at him.
well, remember he called out Nate Diaz for leaving.
For leaving
Nate
what?
for leaving the show because Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal were there. And when they showed the camera to Nate Diaz, he didn't look like he wanted to be there. Like he didn't want to be shown. So
Okay.
at the end of the fight, Jake Paul called out Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal for leaving, and said that he'll fuck them up too.
Well, there you go.
That's your next fight right there.
I
Nate
mean,
Diaz and
baby,
Jake Paul.
here's the thing. Dana White doesn't necessarily want, if they're not out of their UFC contracts. Dana White doesn't want to keep giving the UFC a black eye. It's because it's like it's only making the UFC look bad when these fights go down like this. And every time Jake Paul wins. And by the way, here at DD214 Gaming, we're all about freaking, accountability and shit. So like, let me be the first to go on record and eat a little bit of crow right now. So I do have to absolutely extend my congratulations to Jake Paul. I might not agree with a lot of the stuff in the past and the internet. I didn't grow up in this generation, so like I've never really quite understood it. So I've talked a fair amount of shit about, I think, both Paul brothers on this podcast in the past.
Yeah.
But when a young man clearly and very obviously trains that hard and is clearly working hard towards a goal and doing it, like, that's where I really can't talk too much more shit about that part. You know what I mean? Like, I can say whatever I want about all the stuff in the past that they've done on the internet and all that bullshit, but as far as him in the boxing ring, dude, like, the dude's putting his money where his fucking mouth is, and he keeps knocking motherfuckers out.
And let's
he
also
keeps knocking motherfuckers out.
now
So
let's
it's like,
a big thing that people keep on complaining about is that he's not fighting big boxers. But I think we also need to take into consideration take away the fact that he's a Paul brother. Take away the fact that he's rich. Take away the fact that Tyron Woodley is a former UFC champion. When you take all that shit out, they're just amateur boxers. They're just rich amateur boxers.
That's correct. He is exactly correct to not try to climb the ranks in actual boxing. Like that, that's again, completely fucking smart business move. Because he already has notoriety, and because he already does have a little bit of money, he can fucking get the best training in the world, and he can do basically like what amounts to like stage show boxing matches and make even more money. Like I cannot necessarily fault the fucking man for his business plan here, because he's and on top of that, he's fucking winning. He's winning. It's like the devil on the left or the devil on the right, dude. Like which one do you choose? You know what I mean? Like,
he punched the shit out of him.
Slept him, dude. Just like the basketball.
Just like
the basketball player. Just like the basketball player. It was the same punch.
Nate Robinson. Yep.
Yeah, it's just like it was the same fucking punch. Same fucking punch, dude. It's a fucking overhand right, dude.
Sound.
Overhand right. Right on the fucking button.
It sounded like a fucking like a fucking firecracker.
Hey, that's clean hit, dude. Overhand right on the button, dude.
Yeah. What we got next? We have Dr. Disrespect is opening a AAA game studio called 12 a.m. with former Call of Duty developer Robert Bowling and former Halo developer Quinn Del Hoyo. The company's first game will be called Midnight Society, and I want to talk about this. I think this is really cool.
Okay, so I got a question. So you're the one that's done all the deep dives, and you know all about Dr. Disrespect, like,
yeah, and I know a lot about Robert Bowling too.
Okay, what was Dr. Disrespect's previous like occupation in life prior to being Dr. Disrespect? Like,
now, are you asking me this because you don't know, or
because I don't know? Because I have no idea.
Dr. Disrespect, whose real name is Guy Beam, was a Call of Duty map developer. before he was
Okay.
Dr. Disrespect.
So he has plenty of fucking pedigree within the video game community
Yes, he
already.
does. And
Okay,
what's
I did not know
yeah.
that. I had
So
no
he
fucking idea.
Yeah,
Like,
so he was mainly he's a map artist. He is a map artist. So when you look at a lot of like the original Modern Warfare games, he most likely worked on the map that you played on.
okay,
So on top of that, he didn't just work for Call of Duty, he worked for other game. He was a gaming developer before he was a famous streamer. And that's his history. So that's why I'm so excited about this. Now, Robert Bowling was someone who I used to follow when I was a child, because when Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, Robert Bowling was the head developer of the game. He was the guy that knew everything about it. Because if you guys remember, when Modern Warfare 2 came out, it was the hottest fucking thing in the world when it came out. It blasted through sales. It was impressive. It was different. It was new. And Robert Bowling was there for the whole thing, and he was a major part of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare franchise, especially going into Modern Warfare 3. So to see these two working on a triple A, we're not talking about an independent, we're not talking about like, something you see on the Xbox ID. No, this is a triple A game that they're working on. This is going to be a big title, and to have Dr. Disrespect and Robert Bowling collaborating together, I think we're in for something really special. Really
okay,
special.
okay. I will take your word for it, because I mean that's like, but I think it's really cool that
This is
they're
a this is a dream come true for me, to
well,
be
it's like
honest with you.
when you
Yeah.
when you take people that are passionate about video games, it's like any other art form. It's like any other art medium. Like my favorite horror movie of all time, no shit, is House of a Thousand Corpses, and I'll tell you why. Because all that's a fucking horror movie made by the ultimate horror movie fan.
Yeah.
Okay, Rob Zombie was widely renowned to be like a ginormous fucking horror movie fan. For years and years and years and years before that movie ever got made. And in my opinion, he made the perfect horror movie. You know what I mean? Like, and that's like what you're basically saying is like they're starting a gaming company to fucking bring goddamn gaming back to fucking gaming, like the passion for gaming. I want to see somebody produce some fucking art, you know,
Yeah.
where I get so goddamn sucked in. You know what I mean? Like the fucking rest of the world just disappears for like a little bit. And like all my homies can be sitting there fucking like watching me play too, and they're sucked in because it's a fucking art form. You know what I mean? It's an
Yep.
art form.
And
So
and that's why I'm so excited to talk to you about this next thing. It's called Power On, the story of Xbox. I'm gonna
okay,
go so within these last 30 minutes, I'm going to break down for you all 6 episodes.
okay,
And I have to say it was probably one of the most informative, um, important, and descriptive documentaries I've ever seen about any type of gaming at all. And it was given to us. It's on YouTube. If you Joe, if you want, if you could look it up, if you go straight to the Xbox YouTube, you're gonna see like the 6 episodes there. If you could just play some of those clips, to show what was going on. Very so. This is Power On is the story that if you're an Xbox fan like me, following this since the beginning, this is a story that you want to hear, because there's some things that I did that me surprisingly didn't even know. Um, a lot of the story, this documentary helped me respect um, Xbox and Microsoft so much more, because they truly are and always have been and will be the underdogs in the gaming industry. And they prove that time and time again. They so episode 1, it talks about the original Xbox and how the idea came together. And it was Microsoft Game Studios was a whole different division that was coming up with games like Microsoft Golf 1998, Microsoft Flight Simulator, older games. Microsoft has been making games for the PC for a long time. a long time.
Yeah.
So when it came to the idea, okay, PlayStation has this console and Nintendo's doing this thing, but what can we do to get together and do this? So a group of guys who dubbed themselves the Renegades, they got together and they started working on a video game console, which ended up becoming the Xbox.
Dude, you want to know what the my platoon name was on or my company name was on my first deployment?
What was that?
The Renegades, man.
Oh, there we go.
509th, man. 509th Clearance Company, Renegades, man.
Yeah, there you go. And you know this. Yeah, so these renegades got together, and they were trying to come up with this idea. Well, what can we do to be part of the game? So what they did is they took a PlayStation 2 and they tore it into pieces. And you can see here, you saw it right there in some of the games. So there were old games. Microsoft has always been developing games,
Right. Right.
but they did, PlayStation has no computer parts. It's not a computer. It was built as an entertainment system. Okay, you could play
Right.
DVDs on it. You could
Right.
play, things like that. These were things that were already done. Yeah, and the PlayStation 2 was promoted as the emotion engine, and a lot of people thought that was cool, and it did all this cool shit. But these developers at Xbox tore the thing apart and they found out the things that weren't in the PlayStation and they used that and they built the original Xbox.
Fucking dope. That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
That's
so
again, smart business moves. Smart business moves. So that's fucking dope.
So what makes it so special now is that they have this idea, but the only way that Bill Gates approved of it was because it was run on Windows. It's a window, Xbox is a Windows based computer. They don't consider this thing as a console or anything else. It is a computer. That's why you're able to do mod games. Oh,
Yeah.
whoops. Mod games, customize it, add hard drives in it. You can't add a hard drive into a PlayStation, but you could
Right.
with Xbox. And that was a major thing that they fixed, and they said, you know what, this is it. So they're working on everything, and Bill Gates approves it and everything like that, and everything starts going. So they start talking about the Xbox. They're going to the the game developer conventions,
Right.
and they're trying to present it, and people are just like, "What the hell is going on?" And I'm kind of fast forwarding a bit,
No, that's fine. No, that's fine. John, do you want to know? Do you want to know what I happened to come across? Those last couple of days.
What?
My original Xbox.
You
and
found
all the cords.
You found the original Xbox?
Yeah.
Holy
man.
shit!
I've got it, bro. I've got it. I've got my original Xbox. I got my fucking 360. Like, we got this shit, man. We got content coming. We got content coming.
Good,
We got
good.
Like, I'm talking like Nichelle Cairo.
Yeah.
She was like streaming like her playing GoldenEye one night. Like that's a good idea. You know what I mean? Playing some of the old school games and like streaming the old school games. That's a good idea. Like
yes it is.
Maybe I should replay Fable. You know what I mean? And just become like the Dark Lord.
Yeah.
And leave my freaking nickname, the Chicken Chaser. So like the whole game, it has to like I'm the Chicken Chaser, but it's like I'm like the darkest lord ever. You know what I mean? Like of the game, when you get like all the negative karma for like killing everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Did I
You're
sidetrack
good.
you?
No, because I see Joe pressing something, and I have to tell him we're not going to get to that. Yeah, because I'm not even past episode 1 of Power On.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, so where was I now? So so now they're trying. No, Joe, no.
God damn it! If you don't pay attention to Jay and
Man, we suck.
Oh, man.
So okay, so now they're trying to figure out how the fuck we're gonna what because one interesting thing is that they only make software. They do not make the hardware for their consoles. And this was a very big thing. So when they were presenting this to all these companies, the companies were laughing at them and they're just like, no, we're not gonna do this. So then a couple weeks ago we covered that Xbox tried to buy Nintendo, and this became
Correct.
a big conversation because this was part of the documentary, and Nintendo was like, no, but we'll work together. And
Right.
so now they're trying to figure out how to make this Xbox, and they're making these motherboards and they don't fit in the console. It doesn't fit. So this artist came in and was just like, we're gonna take this design from a Dodge engine, and we're gonna make it look like the Xbox. And that's what the original design turned out to be, to represent a Hemi engine, to signify that it was the most powerful console in the world. And at that time, it was.
That's right.
So
At the
now
time it was. That's correct.
yes.
That's
So now
exactly correct.
we're moving forward, and they're talking about how Halo. So Halo.
Halo was a game changer.
Yes.
Halo fucking saved the Xbox. Halo was. This is what I remember about Halo. Like,
but it almost doomed it.
okay, but here's the thing. Like, here's what I remember about Halo. Halo became the successor to GoldenEye's throne as the greatest like co-op fucking first person shooter. You know what I mean? Like, it was like Halo was like that. Halo was the successor. And with the fucking Xbox, you could have fucking LAN parties. You know what I mean? Like,
And that was actually there was a whole episode dedicated to LAN parties, and it was a whole episode that was talking about Halo. Halo changed the game.
that's what I'm saying. Like,
Halo changed the game. And now what people don't seem to understand about Halo is
oh
that
my god, like fucking Joe, you freaking, I hate you, dude. There's your laugh, Joe. Like, that's goddamn it.
So when they're talking to Halo, so the Bungie was working on other games before called a game called Marathon and another one called Myth, which were PC games. The big thing about this, they got the idea of creating Halo because they wanted to port their games from PC into a console, and the only way to do it was to turn this console into a computer, and it worked. So so during the creation of Halo, the Xbox came out in November. Halo wasn't even done. We're talking about February, and we didn't even have color in the game yet.
Right.
And they rushed the game, and and it was buggy. It was really buggy, and it really goes to show how history has always repeated itself, where these companies are always rushing their games, and they come out like shit.
Right.
You know, but then other games came in, the EA games came in, and so on and so forth. You know the history with that. So now we're getting into the 360 era, and we all know what happened with
Red Ring of Death.
With the Red Ring of Death, exactly. There was a whole episode dedicated to this. Now, what a lot of people don't understand was the struggle that Microsoft had to go through in order to fix the Red Ring. And this, to me, was one of the. Oh, and by the way, they also go into major detail about why Xbox has always been not for profit. You know, they've always known that they were going to make their sales no matter what. And it really showed when the PlayStation 3 was coming out for $599 at that time, where they pretty much gave the gaming industry to Microsoft. Yeah, and that was a big thing. Right. So now we're at the Red Ring of Death. So their 360s come out 6 months later. They're going into the forums and they're seeing that the Xboxes they're fucking up. They're not working. You know, were you guys victims of the Red Ring?
I came in slightly late in the 360 era. So the one that I got was a second, what I would call like a second generation 360.
Yeah.
The Red Ring eventually happened. Yes.
Okay.
So the answer to your question is yes, but it did not have that. Like, I bought it and 3 months later I got a Red Ring, right?
Yeah.
I had it. I think I had my 360. Oh, Christ on a cracker. What was it? It was
Christ on a cracker.
I think I had my 360 almost 2 years before I got the red ring. And by then they had streamlined the process. So it was like you get the red ring, you freaking Xbox would like, or Microsoft would fucking ship you the box. You put the motherfucker in the box, you ship it back to them, and they ship you back your fucking 360.
And people
Like,
people were still getting red rings 6 times over. Now I have
right.
to stop you for a second because
Go ahead.
I need Deshaun to explain to me this. I tried the penny and hot glue
That
thing.
was the thing. I remember. I know what he's talking about. Deshaun, you're probably going to be a lot more descriptive about it. Can you type up that can
He
you
said
can you type up as quick as possible the process of the glue and the hot and the hot glue and the penny, because I know exactly what you're talking about, but you're going to be a lot more descriptive with it than I am, because I have a friend who did that and it actually worked. So if you can type that up here in a second here. But no, like, I did eventually get the red ring, but by then they had streamlined it so much. Oh, by the way, the 360 they sent back to me has not failed since. So
really? So you still have
like,
it?
I took that 360 into the army with me, and I only stopped playing it after I got after my third deployment, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I only like in the last 3 years. That was still my console. Like 3 years ago.
That's interesting.
Before I went on my last deployment.
And that's interesting because
So
that was a big thing in the episode that they were talking about. They were
I was one of the lucky ones. One of the lucky ones.
people
It took 2 years to get the red ring, and the refurbished Xbox they sent me has been fine since. Like, I was one of the lucky ones, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, and that, you know, to hear that your 360 didn't go through that again, and this was a major thing because people were sending in their Xboxes. One guy in the documentary said that he was up to 6, and he was still getting the red ring. Deshaun says supposedly I was told that the penny would act as if a way to cool the system. I don't know. I was like a kid with rare access to the internet. Hey, man, I'm not even mad at you there because it's the same thing, like a heat sink.
That's exactly. I think that's what I think. That's. I'm not big on electronics. I had a buddy that did that trick, and he was very, very familiar with, like, he's like dude that builds computers and shit, basically, like. But whatever he did and however he did it, it fucking worked. But he said he used a penny. Said he used a fucking penny. So, and we got a note from our producer Joe said that he had friends that repaired them all the time and charged $60 a pop. And yes, that was common. If you knew the basic kind of like general shit of how a computer and like the motherboard and the fan and all that stuff works, if you knew it back then,
Which actually I could actually explain to you what happened.
you can basically jailbreak a 360 and fix it. And it really wasn't that hard to fix.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know exactly what the fuck Microsoft did, because I never got that much into building computers. But like,
I'll tell you right now. So
go ahead, please.
So they explain. So it took a month to find out, first of all, and a lot of people took that silence as, "What the fuck are you guys doing? You guys aren't doing anything." But they didn't know what was going on until they finally saw that the GPU, when people were turning on and off their Xboxes, so there's like this metallic paste that connects the GPU into the Xbox itself. And what it does, and it's actually funny because I have an Xbox One that's not working because of that exact same reason, which my wife tried to fix for me. We even bought the metallic paste and everything. What the metallic paste was doing was that it was bouncing up and down through heat. It was heating up, and then when it was off, it was cooling. And when it would cool, it would paste up to the top of the GPU and take it off of the pins that were needed to have the console running. Does that make sense? It's like it's doing perfect. We're going to use a Swisher Sweet.
Here we go.
The Swisher Sweet is the GPU.
Okay.
This is the bottom of the console.
Right.
This is the GPU. So it goes in, and it's supposed to kind of like, the metallic paste is the binding connection to make it work.
Okay.
So if there's no connection, then it's not going to work. So the Xboxes were turning on and off, and the GPU was bouncing inside of the Xbox, separating from the paste, and it would stop working.
Have you ever tried to explain something technical to an infantryman?
No, and that was the first time, and I'm never going to do it again.
No, you know what? The pictures and the Swisher Sweets and like it helped me understand it a lot more.
Really?
It helped me understand it a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here comes.
I'm a real fucking window licker sometimes, dude.
Yeah,
So like,
so-
sometimes you got to break it down like extremely Barney style for me. Otherwise, I'm just gonna fucking stare at you and nod.
Yeah, and there you
Okay.
go. The Swisher Sweet
Like-
works. So now, when they found out what the problem was, they knew how to fix it. But
Right.
the problem was, it was going to cost them $1 billion. Yeah, and the head of the Xbox goes up to Steve
Right, that's
Ballmer,
where we
who
go
was the
first.
head of Microsoft, and said, "Hey, we found out what the problem is. It's going to be $1 billion."
$1 billion.
So guess what Steve Ballmer said?
What'd Steve Ballmer say?
He said, "Get it done. We'll take the hit. We'll figure it out later."
Best decision ever.
Though I would say so. And now the reason why I think that is
Because,
so
dude, well, let's fast forward. I want you to continue what you're saying. So like, pause your thought. But best decision ever, because let's fast forward to like right now. Like right now, the Xbox Series X is kicking the dog shit out of the fucking PlayStation, fucking whatever the fuck number we're on.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, those reports are always they're always up and down. But yeah, you see, here we go. So the one thing that was really cool about the 360 is that each light did signify an error. So
Yeah.
that's what the rings were for.
Right.
And right here, it actually shows you the diagram here, whatever the fuck it's called. And but yeah, the Xbox made a smart decision in making sure that the people got what they wanted, and in turn, the 360 Slim came out, and then shortly after, the Xbox One came out, and then so on and so forth.
As they say, the rest is history.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to get into the last episode because we're living in the last episode now.
Right.
But one thing that is important to understand is that the Xbox and the PlayStation, they are two. What I got from this documentary was that regardless of rivalry, they are two different consoles. The Xbox is different than anything else. It is a high powered computer with an NVIDIA chip in it. They have been putting NVIDIA chips in it since 1999, since right before the console was even released. They have always been ahead of the game as far as like what they want to do. The fact that the numbers don't sell that good, okay, we get it. Xbox has taken a bunch of hits, but for the people, they came back tenfold and they made things better. So this documentary helped me love and respect the underdog much more. They helped me understand how much of an underdog they really are.
Oh,
and
fuck
on,
yeah.
And on top of that,
been the whole time.
yeah, and it it really goes to show that you can do anything. Okay, a group of assholes who had no responsibility making a console or even video games. I mean, the guy Seamus, the guy who is credited for creating the Xbox. Before he created the Xbox, when internet first came out, he was the first person to have the worst review on the internet for a video game that he created. It was the worst review in the world, and he came back and he created the greatest console in the world.
Fuck yeah, and good for him. Fuck yeah. I mean, that's
and like it says here, Xbox had no right making this. They had no right making it. They didn't have the experience. They didn't have the knowledge, and they did it.
And like Deshaun just said, PlayStation was like, "I'm gonna fuck you, and you're gonna like it." You know what I mean? Like, which is like that's totally fucking exactly Sony's stance on fucking everything that they do.
Yeah,
like,
and
we're just gonna hand you a polished turd, and you're just gonna deal with it, okay?
Yeah, and in the beginning of this documentary, they specifically say how Sony was born in entertainment. They have movies, they have theme parks, they've had equipment. speakers, televisions, you name it. They've been a part of this. This is but what Xbox did, what Microsoft did as a whole, it's you can't fathom it. So guys, take the time. Each episode's about 40 minutes long. Hell, we might even have to do a watch party for this because it was so good.
That'd be cool. That'd be
it's
cool.
it's called,
That's more season 3 content right there,
yeah.
dude. Like
The,
I'm
the,
telling you, bro, dude. Like dude. Season 3 is coming, and it's gonna come in hot, dude. Because there's so many different things we can do now, and because it is like about to be 2022, we are legit like, excuse me, like living in the future. Like there's so many different things we can do.
Speaking of season 3, do you want to hear a clip of the theme song?
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, absolutely.
So right here I have the file.
Oh man.
And here we go. Here's a sneak peek, guys.
All right.
That's all
Fuck
you
yeah.
assholes get. That's all you assholes
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
get.
Party on, dude. Dude, fucking party on, man. Party on. That was fucking dope. Dude, have you ever seen like those fucking 80s movies where like you see a couple of guys like rolling in and like that's the kind of fucking like music they play when like you're not sure if they're like good guys or bad guys yet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's like the perfect that's like a perfect fucking like, oh dude, that was tits. That was tits, dude.
Deshaun Meyer says, "Oh, that made my butthole tickle." That's the point, my friend. That is the point. And in saying that, before before we get to the final thought, Jay, it's actually your turn. You got the Christmas final thought.
Do I?
Yes, you do. But obviously before we get to that, guys, make sure that you guys check out www.blaze8onlinenewjersey.com. I just want to say, I actually got a message the other day from Alexander Lear, one of the founders of Blaze 8, who told me that when he was scrolling through his reels on Facebook, a DD214 gaming post came up. So that means that our stories and our reels are in the wild, ladies and gentlemen. They are in the wild. So
wait, what does that mean?
So a reel is like a story. So you know how Facebook has stories?
But I've never used it. So you're gonna have to like what?
So this is to show. I'm going to show you which one actually is the one in question. Let's see. So it's like, so what stories are there? Like a little commercial.
Okay.
And this one has 393 views. And so Alexander Lear wrote to me the other day to tell me that we're in the algorithm. We're getting seen. So thank you.
Man, does that fucking suck for the algorithm?
Deshaun's right. It's a TikTok for Facebook and IG.
Shit!
Yeah. We're
hilarious, dude.
We're in the algorithm now, guys. Make sure you check out our link tree, www.linktree.com/dd214gaming. Oh shit! It's one thing that we also forgot to mention today, guys. If you go into those links and you go into our Spotify, DD214 Gaming is now on Spotify video. There are probably less than 100 video podcasts on Spotify alone. Joe Rogan's on there. We're on there. So make sure, guys, you guys check us out on Spotify. This is a very exciting move for us.
Hell yeah.
In time,
season 3 is coming, bitch.
Yeah, so it's right in time for season 3. You could check out episode 37 in video. Today's episode 38 will be there. Remember, guys, this is our Christmas episode too. So, and what else we got? Go, guys. Rogue Energy, you can't eat ass without it, guys. Make sure you use discount code DD214 Gaming for 10% off your next order today. Guys, you can't eat ass.
Dude,
You can't love on your partner. You can't.
man, I drove through 100-year storm, clenching my fucking teeth so hard they broke. My eyes were popping out of my fucking skull. And it was all because of Rogue Energy. That shit kept my whole family alive. Good golly, Miss Molly.
He said, "Good golly, Miss Molly," and that's you, Jay. It's your turn. It's your time for.
All right.
Yeah, man.
My time to get real. All right. Hey, so it is the holiday time. So we here at DD214 Gaming, and obviously a lot of people around the country, and a lot of people and loved ones that we know. This is not always an easy time of year for a lot of people. A lot of people have very treasured and cherished memories from this time of year with loved ones that they have lost, and so that kind of compounds the feelings of loss when they occur, especially around certain times of year. We want everybody out there to know that going away for good is not a good option. And there is always going to be somebody out there that is going to forever be shattered by the loss of you. You are special. Every single person on this earth, all fucking 8 billion of us, are special. And we owe it to the people in our lives, our tribes, our people, because we never know who we're going to touch and who we are going to make a connection with in our lives that change them for the better and keep them going when times get hard. When you're fucking having like the roughest patch of existence, and you keep those thoughts of hope and you cherish those good memories, and they light that fire in your heart and remind you that every day is a new day, and we can keep on going, and we can go stronger than ever someday in the future. We just got to get through this fucking rough patch. That's okay. It's just like being in the infantry. We always just say, keep moving forward. No matter how bad it gets, there is the sun will shine on a new day. Okay. The sun keeps rising. So remind yourself that every day is a new day. And no matter like how hard you crash land into like the next phase of your life, you are going to make it. And everyone around you is going to make it with you. You know, so reach out, pick up a phone, make a phone call if you need to. If you're having a rough time in this next week, pick up the phone, make a phone call. The National Suicide Hotline is 1-800-273-TALK. That's 1-800-273-8255. They will talk to you. We will talk to you. If you guys send the DD214 Gaming admins a private message, I will give you guys my personal phone number, and you can call me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if that's what you need. If you just need somebody to talk to, all right? I will answer my motherfucking phone. I kept my phone on for 24 hours a day in the fucking Army. There's no reason I can't fucking do it now. If it's that bad, if it is that urgent, if you just need to hear a friendly voice, reach out. I hope and wish all of you the best in the week ahead. We have the solstice in 2 days, so I hope you all enjoy a healthy cup of cheer in 2 days on the winter solstice. And
Festivus.
then we got Festivus coming up. This week is probably a big week for families traveling on vacation. So travel safely if you are traveling. Get to your family safely. Enjoy your time with each other. Treasure these memories. Watch the movies. Eat the popcorn. Okay, play the games. Have the white elephant freaking parties. Whatever the shit you're freaking
Don't
families
eat
do.
Santa's cookies either.
don't eat Santa's cookies, man. That's for him. That's for him, dude. Like, we ain't fucking with Santa's cookies, all right? I know some of y'all do freaking milk. Some of y'all do eggnog for Santa. Do what you do for Santa, man, but you leave it for him. Santa's the man. Santa's the man. We don't fuck with that guy.
No,
all right?
Not that guy. Not that guy.
All right.
John,
Merry Christmas, dude.
Merry Christmas, Jay. Joe, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Joe.
This is fun. This is Christmas. It's Christmas.
It's Christmas.
Oh, and we have one more episode or 2 more episodes until the end of the season?
I think next week's is the last one.
Oh, well then you know what? You know what's gonna happen next week, guys. Make sure you guys check us out next week where we're just gonna talk shit about each other. We're gonna roast Christmas. We're gonna roast 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine. You son of a
Ovaltine.
bitch. Son of a bitch.
It's from Fragile. Look, it's Italian.
Fragile. Papa